people of God, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Kennedy. If you are new here, hello, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any faith-based or Christian-based content here on this channel. And it will be so appreciated if you guys can give this video a big thumbs up. That would mean so much. So I have missed y'all. I have been gone for about 3 days now. As y'all know from my last video, God called us to a 3-day fast, so that's exactly what I did. And yeah, so we're finally back, and we're going to go ahead and get into what happened during this fast. Now, before I start this video, if you haven't already watched the last video, make sure you watch it. If this video comes across your page, then you are supposed to be fasting, so make sure you guys be obedient and listen to God. Let's get straight into it. So y'all, I'm going to share my testimony, and then I'm going to share about the things I've learned, so make sure that you stay tuned to the end of the video so that you can hear everything. So this past 3 days, so I think I posted this video on Tuesday. I did post this video on Tuesday. I kid y'all not, I posted it and I was being obedient because I told y'all I did not want to talk about fasting. I posted a video on Tuesday. I kid y'all not, I woke up Wednesday morning about to throw up. I was sick. I was about to vomit. I was so sick, right? And I was like, you know what, that's when I had to just submit. And I was like, I know you want me to do this fast. I'm gonna go ahead and do this fast. I know this is what you want me to do, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this fast. So I ended up just was like, oh, this is day one. Then we're gonna start with day one. I literally woke up while I was sleeping, and my body was trying to vomit, and I'm like, So come to find out, I think I do actually, or I did or do whatever, have a stomach bug. But I know that that was divine intervention, because I know that God literally placed that virus in me, or he made me sick so that I could submit to his plans. And a lot of the times God will do that. We think that the sickness or the illness that we have is the enemy sometimes, and it's literally God. God will literally, he tells us to rest. A lot of us do not rest, so God will literally physically make you sick, and then he expects to have that dependency on him to get better. So that's why we have Jehovah Rapha, because he is supposed to help us get better. He's supposed to be a healer. That's God. Literally, Jehovah Rapha stands for God who is a healer. So God, I know God made me sick on purpose so that I can go ahead and submit to this fast. Stay with me, stay with me. So I'm literally like, okay, Esther Fast. And then I remember I was like, I'm gonna do just water, because all of my fasts I've never really just did straight water for my spiritual fast. So I was like, oh, time to submit. Then I literally did not have an appetite, so I did not even want to eat. Boom. So day one, I'm just drinking just water, but I'm barely drinking water. When I tell y'all I did not drink anything, this is the start of me being dehydrated, because I was dehydrated the entire fast. I barely drank anything. Day two, I did have to modify it a little bit, because like I said, once again, I am sick. But what's interesting is that I told you guys in my last video that the enemy will send you a phantom sickness while you're doing the fast, so that you think that you're supposed to stop fasting, right? But we're Christians, we don't stop fasting. So I kept going, but I'm like, I know I had to modify it a little bit. So I didn't eat anything, but I did go ahead and drink some Powerade because it had electrolytes. Now, some people may think that that's not considered fast, but I asked God, could I drink Powerade? And he told me yes. So I drank my Powerade, because at that point I was so dehydrated. Not only from the fast, my body is literally trying to fight off a sickness and fight off a virus that I actually still kind of got going on right now. So you know what I mean? I literally had to give my body something. Like, water wasn't going to cut it. I needed extra electrolytes, because I was so physically weak. I could not move. I stayed in the bed all 3 days. I could not move. So pretty much the fast just kind of went like that, dehydrated. And I was staying in the word, but I was also just, I did find myself not knowing what to do for the majority of the day, because I'm just sick at this point. And when you're sick, you want to watch TV, you want to do comforting things, you want to read books and stuff. And the only thing I could do was read the Bible. But I did kind of understand myself and kind of understand what was going on. And there was a lot of things that were brought up that I wasn't expecting. So I appreciated that from God, because I literally I didn't go into this fast expecting anything, because it just kind of sprang on me. Everything happened so quick. I didn't expect anything, right? So last day of the last day of the fast, I was like, okay, I haven't really noticed anything too much. I've noticed things internally. And also for this fast, for me, I did not hear the voice of God. Most of my other fasts, I was able to hear him. I was able to hear the Holy Spirit. this time, I'm going to be completely honest, I was not. And this is going to lead to my point. So before I get into the point that what I need to share with you all is, I will say that on my last day of my fast, I did receive a check I was waiting for. And I was going to email them before I even started the fast. I was going to email them like, hey, because it's been time, so I was going to say something. And literally it just kind of like happened like that. So I did know that that was a part of God's plan. But this part of the video is where I need to talk to you guys. So this whole fast, God was silent. I mean, he did not say a thing. He was so silent. And I remember talking to one of my friends, and I was telling them beforehand, I was like, have you ever felt God's silence? But I don't think they understood what I meant. But it was a season, I would say, right when I first started. Remember, I told you guys April of this year is when I got closer to God and I just surrendered everything. I would say about April, May, there was a silent season. So I remember that's when I did my first fast. And then I did another fast after that. I think I did a fast in March, and then I did a fast in April. Something on those lines, right? Stay with me. That was a silent season. And I remember not understanding it. And that was a time where I was literally like, God was shaping me and molding me into who I am today. But I just remember him being so silent, and I didn't understand. And then after the silence, that's when he was talking loud after that, right? But I just remember that, right? So this time and during this fast, there was silence. And I was able to get on social media during this fast, but I was only consuming Christian content. So I was only on YouTube, and I would only watch certain videos that had Christian content on here. Sorry guys, my nose is itchy. But anyway, so I was watching the Christian content, and I remember listening to this podcast, and this is where everything transformed on day 3. Because that's when I was really like, okay, God, I don't really hear much, so you're gonna have to show me something. I'm still being respectful, but I'm kind of like, like, I'm at this point, I just need to hear from you in something. And God communicates in multiple ways, so I wasn't expecting to just hear his voice. Just like, at the same time, what can you do for me that you're not necessarily doing right now at this point in time? So I ended up listening to this podcast, and the podcast, her name is Christian Bae. I love her. I think I talked about her in another video, but love Christian Bae podcast. She was talking about silent undoing. That's what it's called, silent undoing. And she was talking about how God will silently undo a lot of things, and you won't know or you won't hear it because he's not lasting it. He's not making a big deal out of it. He's doing things in silence. So that led me to understand, I'm like, silent undoing, this is what that means. Silent undoing is what God is when he's transforming your life, but he's not talking about it. He's not giving you no sort of hints. He's not giving you no sort of direction. He's just doing things behind the scene, and you would think it's silent because he's not speaking on it. He's not doing anything about it. So that is when I was like, this is what this is. Now, I also want to tell y'all, I saw another video where it was talking about how God, when he is silent, that's because he's doing the work. And I remember when I had a conversation with God before I moved. I had a conversation with God, and his instruction was for me to fast. Once again, y'all, I've been avoiding this fast for over a month now, probably a month and a half. Y'all, everything clicked. I'm like, okay, this is the instruction I was supposed to do. So I'm expecting God to move now, like talk to me. Okay, so God, I did what you wanted me to do, even though you pretty much forced me in a way. Not forced me, but he pushed me to do this fast, because he didn't force me. God would never force you, but he pushed me to do this fast. And I'm like, okay, now I'm expecting you to talk to me. And not in a necessarily he doesn't care about me way. I just know that God was like, you did what I told you to do, but that does not mean I owe you anything. So in my head, it kind of humbled me, because I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Not only is God humbling me in a sense, he's also working behind the scene, because I know that when he's silent, he's doing things. He's undoing, and this transformed me. Like I said, this transformed me in a lot of different ways. I feel like if I was to hear God, I wouldn't be able to sit there with myself and understand the difference between when I hear him versus when I don't. So now that I've went through this fast and it's been completely silent, that means that God has transformed me to be able to understand myself without needing to hear from him. Do y'all know do y'all understand the wisdom? Do y'all understand the maturity you have to have in order to do that? Do you understand that God works in so many ways? He don't just work in one way. He's going to show you different ways of how he moves, even if it's silently. And so it made me even more excited, because I'm like, God, you're pretty much trusting me to work through myself, and giving me that power to work through myself without having to listen and depend on you to make every single move. Now, don't get it twisted. God is still gonna give me my next instruction. He has to be gonna give me the next instruction. But for this fast, I think it was so important for me to be able to silently undo a lot of the things that I was doing, and for him to just watch, him to observe. God just wanted to observe me do this. So it's kind of like putting your child out there and telling your child, hey, play, do all of it, no instruction, no nothing, and you just watching them. You're just seeing how they move, and you're seeing how they operate, and you're going and taking off of that. That does not mean that you're going to leave your child just not doing anything. That just means that you're giving them that chance for maturity. You're giving them a chance for responsibility. Okay? And that's the biggest thing, because I think I asked for so much responsibility, but I was expecting God to literally hold my hand through every single thing, and that's not what we're doing in this season. God is not holding our hand in this season. God is giving us the opportunity to get things done. Ooh, I spoke about that in another video, y'all. He is giving us the opportunity to do the things that he's told us to do on our own. See the glory that he is going to put in our lives. Now, mind you, the Christian Bae podcast, she posted these videos back in July. I'm trying to catch up because she posts every week. All of this happened from July. So I knew that was divine intervention, because I was listening to that episode and I had stopped. And so when I started back up, I'm like, this is the beginning of July. And she was talking about Esther. Once again, she was talking about Esther. God, one thing about God, he gonna make it all circle back around. He gonna make it all come together. So she made a couple of points, and she was basically, and I'm gonna try to remember this off the top of my head, but she said that when God is silent, during the silent undoing episode, I'm gonna link that down there in the description. She says that, so I had to go back through the podcast to find this for y'all, but I have found it. Perfect. I'm so happy. So she says that this is the signs to know that you're in a shifting season. So the first sign is to recognize a pattern. Understand the pattern so you can understand what season you're in. Then the second step is to understand that there's a problem that needs to be solved. So there's some problem that's going on in your life. It needs a solution. So that's when you have to, of course, depend on God. 3 is to get in position. So 3 is to get in position, because though we have will for our life, though God is planning to work in our lives, we have to be the one that does the work. So we're in a physical form, so we have to be the one that's doing the physical work. So that's when you have to get in a position to receive anything that God is doing in your life. Then once you do that, that's pretty much doing the work, right? Once you do that, then go to the next one, which is 4. Number 4 is when provision is released. So God will only provide provision when you do the things that he told you to do, when you have done the action that he's told you to do. That could be doing the work, or that could mean being silent, resting, not doing anything. That could also be an instruction. Back to everything that was going on during this fast, this showed me so much, y'all, because I literally did not understand where I was, and now I understand that this is the time I've done what needs to be done. So now is the provision time, and this is also the time where God will test your heart. He will test your heart posture, and so I have to remain. And of course I thank God during this fast the whole time. God, I'm not going to beg you to talk to me. I don't expect that. I just expect for everything to come to pass like you said it would. However you want that to go, that's up to you. But I'm not expecting anything of you, because I know how it is. I've been in that season. I've been in that silent season where I didn't hear anything. So I know that this is how you operate. Shoot, I operate like that sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to talk to nobody. I get stuff done. Y'all, when I used to be at work, sometimes I would literally walk into work and be like, please don't talk to me. I would tell my coworkers, this isn't the day. Don't talk to me. I'm gonna get what needs to be done, but I don't want to talk. I don't have that for you right now. I can't give that to you right now. So I understood when God broke it down to me that this is the reason for a silent season. He's doing the work. I've done the work. That's all that needs to be done right now. Now it's just the provision time, okay? It's just the time where he sends out his provision. He sends out his grace and his glory and his favor so that things can get done. So I hope this has somehow helped you and inspired you during your fast. I hope that everyone that watched this video has done their fast. Of course, make sure that you remain silent while you're doing it. Make sure you don't tell anybody, because you don't want to be in vain. But I do want to encourage y'all that even if the fast doesn't go how you expect, just know that God sees everything, okay? Do not grow weary. Oh, y'all had to write that down. Do not grow weary of doing good. Do not grow weary of that, because literally we know that everything that we do is for the greater good of the kingdom and for God and his plan. So any little thing we do, we got to pay attention to the little steps that we do. Every little step you take, every little thing, every move you don't take, God also counts that. So don't think that you have to always be the one that's doing good. Sometimes just rejecting sin, he sees that too. He sees everything. He sees that you're not giving in to the enemy. You're not doing the things you used to do. You're not smoking. You're not drinking. You're not fornicating. You're not getting upset when people irritate you. So all of these sins and stuff that we deal with on a basis, when you're not doing that, God sees that. He's clapping. You might not hear him clap, but he's clapping, I guarantee you. So I just want to leave that with y'all, and I hope that you guys are able to take this away and understand that regardless of how it plays out, it is all for the greater good. It is all for your testimony, okay? Everything is for your testimony. Do not grow weary of anything, because it is all for the greater good. I love you, people of God, and most importantly, God loves you. I will catch y'all in my next video. And once again, if y'all ain't did that fast, y'all better go do it. I'm not playing with y'all. Go do that fast, okay? I love y'all. See y'all in the next video. Bye.